Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, a lot of people wonder what is going to happen to Ezekiel in this new season of The Walking Dead that's coming up. Because in the comics, he is decapitated by the Whisperers. The Whisperers, in case you don't know, are this new group of enemies, new group of people that use dead skin and wear masks to blend in with the walkers, and they're a very deadly new group of people. There's the leader, Alpha, and then there's Beta, and it's just basically the new big bad. And basically, in the comics, they decapitate 12 people and put their heads on spikes, and Ezekiel and Rosita are two of them. There's a few others. There's Olivia, but she's already dead in the show, so they can't use her. And I think there's a couple of other characters. There's Dr. Carson, who's already dead on the show. There's a few others, so it's not going to be completely accurate to what happens in the comics, because some of the 12 heads that are put on spikes, they're already dead in the show. But Ezekiel and Rosita, those are two of the biggest ones in the comics. Those are two of the biggest deaths, biggest reveals, and in the show they're both still alive right now, and they both have gotten more screen time recently in bigger parts. And it seems like both characters, both Rosita and Ezekiel, have kind of found themselves in season 8 and kind of found their identity. Rosita, she started to get over her anger issues and get over her shit, and was a lot more calm during season 8 and talked about how she felt responsible for Sasha's death and how she had a hard time calming down, and she seemed okay. So it seems like she's maturing, and there could be an argument that she's found her true self, or she's come to a good place in life, and that now they're going to tragically kill her, because this is when she dies in the comics, when these 12 heads are put on spikes. And with Ezekiel, the same argument can be made. During season 8, Ezekiel sort of broke down and then got up and came back, because he lost a lot of his soldiers during a battle with the Saviors. He lost Daniel, Alvaro, Shiva, his tiger. He lost a lot of soldiers. Pretty much all of his people that were soldiers, and there was like 50 of them, they all got killed. And they're fighting for something bigger, and blah, blah, blah. So Ezekiel feels really guilty and upset about it. And during the middle of the season, he ends up being able to get back up and continue to fight, because the Saviors come to the kingdom and everyone else is in trouble. So he actually continues to help, and he's already a little different than he is from the comics, because in the comics he's upset even longer, and in the show they kind of handle it differently. I think he gets over it faster, and there's nothing wrong with either one, I don't think. If anything, I think the way he was in the comics was a little more realistic, but he kind of finds himself again. And a big part of that is because of his relationship with Carol. At the beginning of season 8, Ezekiel is giving Carol advice and being all confident. And then when he loses all of his people, or most of his people, all of his soldiers, Carol is the one that attempts to comfort him and bring him back and help him go back to being the king and being the leader and everything. And the thing about Ezekiel is that he kind of has the whole two identities thing. There's the thing where there's the part of him where he's a normal person, and then there's the where he acts like a theater character, and he talks differently, and he acts like a king. And when everything goes wrong, he actually breaks down and goes back to his normal self. And Carol's the one that ends up helping him deal with that. So I think Carol and Ezekiel, their relationship is a big part of Ezekiel's story in the show. And when he dies, I think that'll be a big part of his death. Now, in the comics, Ezekiel has a romance with Michonne. Basically, everything with Ezekiel and Carol in the show is with Michonne in the comics. And during the comics, after All Out War, Ezekiel and Michonne are not together, but Ezekiel wants to get together, and then he starts to get the confidence to tell Michonne how he feels, and that's when he gets killed. So, in the show, they actually have the potential to do exactly that, have Carol and Ezekiel not be together, but Ezekiel wants to be together, and right when he's about to tell Carol how he feels, that is when he's decapitated. That's when we see his head on the spikes, just like the comics. Now, I don't know, with the heads on the spikes, I don't know if it's going to be in the middle of the season or the season finale. I don't know if it's going to be, the big mid-season finale. That's what I thought it would be at first. But a lot of people think that because of all the things that happened before the heads on the spikes, they have to do the heads on the spikes in the season finale, because there's going to be something big and exciting in the finale. And that makes sense. That gives them a lot more time to develop things, to develop the new world, to develop people being happy now, and then just having that all go horribly wrong with the heads on spikes, and saving that for the finale makes sense. However, I don't think they're going to do the thing where Ezekiel and Carol aren't together, and then Ezekiel gets the confidence to start to approach her and then die, because we got a sneak peek, I believe, of the new season, and it was Carol and Daryl talking, and Carol was talking about Ezekiel while she's in bed with him during the night. So I think they're going to be together possibly at the start of season 9, and I still think they're going to give Ezekiel his comic death. So do I think Ezekiel will get his comic death? Yes, I do. Both Ezekiel and Rosita. I'm fine with being wrong. I would rather be wrong, because I like both characters, especially Rosita. I like Rosita a lot more than Ezekiel, but Ezekiel's okay. But I do think that they will both get their comic deaths. I just think that's what the show does. It's a big moment, and they're going to use the characters that die in the comics because they have them. They have Rosita and Ezekiel. Those are the two biggest ones that are the heads on the spikes. So I think they're going to actually use them. And if Ezekiel is in a relationship with Carol, that just adds to it in that way, because he's in a relationship. He's happy. I mean, we saw what happened with Abraham and Sasha. They were in a relationship and they were happy, and then look at what happened. So yeah, I think that Ezekiel will get his comic death, and I think it could be the season finale. It could be that. It could be before then. But yeah, I think Ezekiel, I think his story is coming to a close. I think this will be his last season. I mean, he might be in season 10 as a ghost or a flashback or whatever. They do that with characters a few times. And I have nothing against Carey Payton. I think he does a good job. I like his take on Ezekiel, but I think with the way they're telling his story, they will kill him off in season 9. Even if by some crazy odd he doesn't get his comic death, I still think he will die in season 9. But yeah. Do I think he will get his comic death? Yes, I do. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please, if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. We are at 144 subscribers. I'm hoping that we can get to 1,000 soon, so let's just see how many we can get. Anyway, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.